काम करते हैं, and an amazing communication amongst all of us, the GPSC member schools, you see which happens throughout the year. I'm sure you would have elevated your senses, your thoughts with this dash of tea. And we're going to continue the journey very shortly because we are missing upon certain people who are outside. I can very well understand. Hunger does take over the entire thought process, but we will wait for them. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed the tea. Yes? Oh, that's really nice. So I can feel the energy in the house. Now let's dive back into the discussion with renewed energy. And tea does that. हमारा पूरा देश चाय पे चर्चा करता है, एक प्रथा है हमारे देश की कि चाय पे चर्चा होगी तो बात बनेगी. So that's what we love doing as a nation. Communication is more than a sharing of words. It is wise sharing of emotions, feelings, and concerns. Digital technologies have facilitated unprecedented global connectivity. Internet, social media, and digital communication tools enable instant communication and collaboration across the globe, fostering a globalized and interconnected world. So we've got a lot of means to communicate, but are we using them wisely? That is the question. Are they really connecting us, these modern means of communication? I still remember, कुछ सुना है, कुछ देखा है अपने लाइफटाइम में. एक चिट्ठी हुआ करती थी, आप सब लोगों ने तो देखा ही है. बड़े मन से कोई लिखा करता था. बिल्कुल, मैंने भी एक दो लिखी हैं, ज्यादा नहीं. पूरा सोच समझ कर एक चिट्ठी लिखी जाती थी, फिर भेजने का वक्त, फिर किसी के पास वो पहुंचती थी, फिर वो उसको पढ़ता था, फिर उसका जवाब आता था. So it took a lot of time, and that communication process instilled a lot of patience in us. आज हम अगर किसी के ब्लू टेक्स्ट देख लें व्हाट्सएप पर, अगर वो रिप्लाई ना करे तो फिर उसकी शामत है कि इसने मेरा मैसेज देख लिया लेकिन रिप्लाई नहीं किया अभी तक. So अब मुझे डांट पड़ने वाली है तो मैं वापस आ रहा हूं. Our next panel discussion is on a very pertinent topic, balancing digital dominance with human connection, the emotional intelligence edge. तो सबने artificial intelligence तो सुना होगा. ये emotional intelligence is a new thing which you would get to know in this very panel discussion. So I would request Ms. Sandeepa Rai, Secretary GPSC, to kindly come on the stage for further proceedings. Ma'am.
A very warm good evening to people who matter. In an era marked by unprecedented technological advancements, the pervasive influence of digital platforms and artificial intelligence has undeniably transformed the way we live, work, and interact. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected through the digital realms, the need to strike a delicate balance between the benefits of digital dominance and the enduring value of human connections becomes more apparent than ever. With this context, I now hand over the stage for the panel two to Madam Rupa Chakravarti, Director Education, Sun City Schools, Gurugram, India. Madam, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. We have those back benches today on the front bench. And the communication they have lifts your spirit and makes you feel, yes, I can do it. Thank you. You know what? We are blessed to have some of the best people going to be speaking today. But before I invite them onto the stage, something came to my mind. When I was small, when I was small, don't ask me when I was small, okay? When I was small, in the car, there used to be a little doll in some people's car, which used to move like this. How many of you had seen it? The head used to move differently, the middle portion used to move differently, and the lower portion used to move differently. And I used to wonder, what is this doll trying to tell me? And I felt very poor communication. Of course, I didn't know the word communication, but I was absolutely perplexed as to what the doll was trying to tell me. But today, after the session that has gone by, I suddenly, it's like Archimedes saying, Eureka. Because I realize it's what Sister Shivani said, this, right? And what we are going to talk about, emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, this, all is well, all is well. And the body or the hand, it's the synchronization of the head, heart, and the hand. It didn't have that synchronization. That's why it couldn't be a great communicator. You all agree with me on this? But today, since we are going to be speaking about people who are so innovative, who are so creatively endowed, I'm blessed to have these people with us, and may I request them to come up as I call out to them. So we are going to have this session on balancing digital dominance with human connection, the emotional intelligence or the emotional quotient edge. So we have the first lady who's going to be she's going to be our moderator, and that is Dr. Gopika Kumar. As it is, I like people to be, so my mother used to say something. She said, Pehle darshandhari, fir gun vichari. So have a look, pehle darshandhari, fir gun vichari. So please, madam, if you could take your seat. Dr. Gopika Kumar, a seasoned professional and a seasonal professional with nearly 2 decades of expertise, stands as a distinguished figure in the realms of coaching, writing, speaking, mentoring, and specializing in soft skills training and behavioral skills training. That leaves nothing out. As a keynote speaker at prestigious events, Gopika has left an indelible mark. The accolades bestowed upon her include the Leadership and HR Excellence Award, big round of applause, from the Daily Indian Media in 2023, recognizing her outstanding contribution to the training and development of corporate personnel. Her transformative journey over 2 decades reflects a strategic channeling of experience, propelling her beyond academia to become a successful trainer, author, coach, and motivational speaker. You're most welcome, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We now have the next speaker, and that is Dr. Himanshu Srivastav. Welcome on stage. Dr. Himanshu Srivastav, an established Bharatanatyam dancer and painting artist. Can you imagine? Look at the creativity. Dancer and painting artist. We talk about interdisciplinary. Here you see them live. Based in Delhi, his Bharatanatyam training was under the tutelage of renowned gurus, and I've had the pleasure of meeting them. And I'm sure many of you have had Dr. Saroja Vaidyanathan, Srimati Kamolini Nagarajan Dutt, and Srimati Rama Vaidyanathan. As a research scholar, he received fellowships from the Ministry of Culture and the Delhi State Fellowship for Dance under Sahitya Kala Parishad. Congratulations. Dr. Himanshu has garnered awards and accolades at national and international platforms with performances in Berlin, Gothenburg, Mexico, Poland, Hong Kong, Sri Lanka, and Tunisia. Big round of applause for that. Beyond dance, Himanshu's contribution extends to research, wow, and script writing for dance productions in Sanskrit, Brajbhasha, Awadhi, and Hindi. Now we know who's going to write our plays for the annual function, right? In the realm of painting, Himanshu's creations reflect lines and intentions inspired by Chola sculptures, Ajanta frescoes, and miniature fard techniques. His PhD thesis connects Chola sculptures and paintings with Bharatanatyam, a true interdisciplinary persona. Welcome aboard. May I now request the person whom the country salutes to come up on stage, Major General R. Putarjanam. Thank you, sir. That means a lot to me. Is currently serving as the Additional Director General of Army Education and Head of the Army Educational Corps. With expertise in human resource development, educational planning, policy formulation, and decision making, he's recognized as a leader in team building, project management, innovation, and curriculum development. As the Additional Director General of Army Education, Major General Putarjanam is responsible for policy formulation, planning, and coordination of educational training within the Indian Army. His achievements include leading the implementation of the right to information in the Indian Army. Bravo, sir, bravo. Major General has held key positions such as Chairman of the Board of Governors in Academic Council at Army Educational Corps Training College and Center Pachmari, what a beautiful place, Pachmari, and has been the member of the Board of Governors for Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Sainik School Society, and Rashtra Military Schools. His personal recognition includes being awarded the General Officer Commanding in Chief, Army Training Command Commendation, and the Chief of Army Staff Commendation. We all salute you, sir. That will be your turn.
So a very good evening to all distinguished members present here today. And thank you so much, Rupa Chakravarti ma'am, for giving us the honor to be present here with our panel today. And I would really want to give a big round of applause to my panelists, Mr. Himanshu Srivastava and Major General sir. Can we have a big round of applause, please? So just in the first few minutes, I wanted to set the context for this entire panel discussion so that we are all very clear with what we are really going to be deliberating on. The entire theme of this annual convention here is about communication. And in communication, we are really focusing our energy on the human connect. And the human connect, which is possible only through areas that have been highlighted through these important C's that I see all up here on the stage as well, which is through care, through a lot of love and understanding, through a lot of collaboration where we are not really seeing ourselves in silos. We are collaborating together exactly like the way we are today, coming from different walks of life, and of course, at the same time as well, showing a lot of commitment. For all of you as audience, for all of you coming from distinguished walks of life, your commitment here in this very room to showcase that what we're really going to be talking about is through active listening and observation. And that's exactly what we're going to be deliberating here as well. But our panel discussion here is slightly different. It's more challenging because especially after the advent of artificial intelligence, after the advent of technology which is booming day in and day out, we want to discuss here with our distinguished panelists here that how would we be able to balance this digital dominance, which is pretty much taking over in the form of technology in all areas of our life, and how will we be able to create that connect, that emotional connect with our audience, with our students, with our listeners. And that's exactly what we are going to be deliberating here on. So may I take this opportunity to our speakers here first so that they can quickly share their key takeaways on how they look at this entire in their niche, balancing digital dominance, and then we will have also a round of question and answer from the audience as well. So we can start with our distinguished panelist here, Mr. Himanshu Srivastav, and you come from an area where you have been able to exceed as a Bharatnatyam and now also as a leading painter coming from Delhi. So we would really like to understand that how do you see digital dominance as a threat, more as a challenge than as an opportunity?
Namaskaram, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be addressing educators, gurus, and leaders who will frame the coming generations. As beautifully ma'am just said, through media, through artificial intelligence, मैंने हमेशा यही सीखा, जो बोलूंगा, सच बोलूंगा, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा. It was constantly fed in my ears through one or the other media. It was intelligent, it was intelligence. प्रयोग गुरु ने सिखाया. एक ऐसी पंक्ति से जो संस्कृत में है मगर बहुत ही सरल है, बहुत सरल. सत्यम ब्रूयात, प्रियम ब्रूयात, न ब्रूयते सत्यम अप्रियम. सच बोलिए, मीठा बोलिए और ऐसा सच ना बोलिए जो कड़वा हो. That is where between the two I found my intelligence. There are various resources from where we collect information, but that one educator matters that changes the course of our learning, course of our understanding. Although there is no sure shot answer to this of how to deal, as AI is very recently introduced, I'd like to draw your attention to a very beautiful example. Being a dancer, usually dancers are not supposed to speak. Our feet are supposed to work and do the needful. But I want to bring this example here to your notice, which might add some beauty to our talk today. A few days back, I think a week or two, one of my students came running to me, almost tearing up and crying, saying, "Sir, I haven't got the grading. I haven't got the Doordarshan grading. All my batchmates have," and this was the message I received 7 o'clock in the morning. Pretty odd time for somebody to drop a message. I understood what the intent was. And she said, "There's so many of them who have received, I've been seeing it since morning." We sat down together. I listened to her. As all the other panelists before the session have said, listen and listen. But there's something we need to act upon to nail that intelligence right there on a humane perspective. I listened. Her saying, "Sir, I am depressed. Sir, I'm unable to take this, that everybody else has received it. I have not received it." A very small thing. What should be my answer as an educator, as someone who is responsible for the growth of that one child or maybe many others invisible? Took me a few minutes to get to the root, and my simple question to her was, I heard, and I had to reply back asking, "What are you worried about? Is it you not getting the grading? Or is it you not growing more than the others?" Just a few minutes and she got my point very clear, that she's been comparing herself to everyone, possibly which she has been seeing around or on social media. Such is the impact of media on our lives. that modern day children, for them, it can make and break them. So as educators, we have a great role. But each time I use the word educator, the human intelligence inside me keeps telling me, through the voices of my gurus, I may be an educator, I may be a guru, I may be a teacher, but every second of my life, I have to be a student. I need to adapt. I need to learn. I need to cope up with the new challenges my students are coming up with. I need to answer them. They will always have questions. And for that, I have to delve deep into myself, my own journey, my own experiences. And that is something which we all need to take care of to come in line with the artificial intelligence that is in vogue nowadays. Everything has a pros and cons. Everything has good, everything has bad. But I still love the way of the old system. Being a dancer, I still will promote the Gurukul system. But at times I think, more than just being the Gurukul, the kul of the Guru, it's a beautiful word saying we are the family of the child. We are answerable to them. We listen to them. From there, an additional role which I realized did have just been vested upon our shoulders from being Gurukul to being Guru Cool. It is something very important. As much, most of the speakers have said, let's try to keep children away. How long are the children right in front of our eyes? So we need to inculcate that distinction. We have a beautiful word in Sanskrit for this. Neer Shir Nyayam. The distinction between water and milk. And that only comes when you share experiences. The sour experience will curdle down the milk and make them understand where the intelligence is. Hence, I think nowadays we have a bigger journey from Gurukul to Guru Cool. We need to adapt. We need to figure out our own way, become student, and find a bridge between the two, our old techniques and the modern day learning. Of course, in olden times, for me, I would rather, to make the session more interesting, I take classes on mythology, very inspired by the other side of mythology, not just being characters, but being every one of us. I ask my audience, if we pick up one of our greatest epics, Mahabharata, I'm sure everybody would have heard about it. Who is the perfect student and who is the perfect guru in Mahabharata? Can anybody tell me? Any answers? Okay. Let me delineate for you, because that is my area of expertise as well, mythology, how to read in between the lines. Listen very carefully. I'm sure you're going to love my perspective. Arjun was the perfect student because he never stopped learning. He was sent to n number of gurus to learn, n number of practices to do, but all under whom? Krishna, the perfect teacher. I know, it's difficult to get the perfect teacher. But the one takeaway that we have is, why not make our students learn in an interdisciplinary fashion, right in the way Arjuna learned from Vishwamitra, from all other gurus. But in the end, he listened to himself, and that was the voice of Krishna riding the chariot of your aim in life. So I think there is a lot hidden. No situation is new. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. Everything that has happened is happening and keeps on repeating itself. We need to delve deeper. I don't say that artificial intelligence has been there before. I don't want to sound uh, ancient right now. But then again, we need to sit and look back of what we are learning and where we are taking our children.
Lovely. Can we have a big round of applause, please? This brings us really two important areas that I would want to, further discuss here as well with Major Sir, which is, the first is that human connection is definitely based on truth. Truth that we speak about ourselves, as correctly stated by, Dr. Himanshu as well. And of course, the other aspect is that to create these human connections, we need to speak about human experiences which people are ready to listen to with a lot of care, with a lot of empathy. Now, talking about care and empathy, talking about understanding, talking about creating camaraderie, I want to understand and take this discipline to Major General Sir here. Coming from the area of holding a very important responsibility as the Additional Director General of Army Education, that how are we being able to bring about, along with the technology, creating this human connection based on truth, based on creating life experiences, because there everything is based on protocol and discipline. So, sir, over to you.
Good evening, all of you. Now, that's a very tricky question to me. I won't say this is an out-of-syllabus question, but then I thought you won't ask me questions related to leadership and things like that. But be that as it may, I would start by saying a few lines which I think is very, very important for us to understand as to what and where we are heading for. Maybe my age group, I won't be able to ask the age of many of the ladies, but those who are 50 plus and, few of them who are at the end of the, career like me, we must understand that we are the most fortunate lot or the generation who has seen both the sides. We have seen how the technology has developed over the years, and we are now at a situation where we know that we have to adapt to this changing scenario. Otherwise, you are going to be left behind. Coming to the question on how the communication with the leadership and a highly, hierarchical organization as ours deal with this kind of a, issue. Let me tell you one thing. If we are talking about human element and human factor, I hope we understand that there is a very thin line of division between human element and the human factor. I'm not going to get into the details of that. But then an organization like Defense Forces is where communication is given a lot of emphasis. And what is that all about? In a typical hierarchical organization, the communication has to be something what we call as PC3. Precise, complete, current, and what is the third C? Anyone? Anyone? Correct. It has to be complete, current, correct, and precise. Therefore, does it mean that everyone in the forces follow this rule? It may not be. So the other side of it is that the organization allows you to question, raise doubts, question the wisdom of each and every individual. Now that's taken as a very, very positive and a healthy sign. Now get us back to the school education, if I may be allowed to do that. Today, in the world of emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence, somewhere we are missing the human touch, or should I say humane touch. All of us know when we were students how we were dealt with when we did mistakes. The teacher was so intelligent that he or she could understand whether the student has knowingly done this mistake or unknowingly, and accordingly the student was dealt with. In our parlance, there are only two things which works: a kick on the butt and a pat on the back. These are two things which are very, very essential. Now, I fail to understand how artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence are going to do this. There cannot be an artificial kick. There cannot be an artificial pat. That pat on the back has to be with a lot of emotions, which charges and encourages the student. Therefore, the technological advancement that we are looking at needs to be adopted with a lot of care. We know that we cannot do away with it. But then the challenge among the teachers fraternity is to understand how we are going to adapt that for the betterment of the student community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we definitely need a big round of applause. And, the moment this was mentioned, the pat on the back, I definitely knew what was coming in next, which was that the artificial intelligence cannot replace that. And that's something that we will have to embrace only and only with a human connect. Very, very well shared, sir. So I'd also like to understand that now being and heading that entire unit for Army, how are you able to leverage technology overall with the ongoing trends?
In fact, I am proud to say that, Defense Forces is probably one of the organizations in our country which has adapted itself and to the changing technology. In our case, there is no choice. You are para-dropped. So you will have to swim, or you will have to probably, find a way out to circumvent that, which is not easy. So technology in the defense forces has been at the forefront of its development. All of us know how we have gone ahead with adapting to the technology. Today we are talking about drones being introduced in the defense forces. So we are not left behind. I would be very, very proud to say that we are probably one of the organizations who have adapted to this changing technology in a very, very big way.
Lovely. Would we like to mention a few, important initiatives, sir, towards the same?
Now you are asking me questions which are very, very dicey to be answered on this platform. But what is available on the open domain is known to each and everyone. Artificial intelligence is being, adopted in a big way. Drone technology is being adopted in a big way. So all those issues which were earlier being done by human interventions are now being done by technology-driven, developments.
Thank you. Lovely. Can we have a round of applause, audience, please? So coming to you, Dr. Himanshu, coming from a domain which is purely an art form, and here we are talking about human connect through dance. Here we're talking about human connect through paintings. And although we do see a visual, sight of it outside this convention hall as well. But now that you're being able to explain through Indian mythology, we'd like to understand that how do you actually intertwine that to create an emotional connect?
I think I've already answered it with a very small gesture. I am a dancer, I'm a painter. As I entered the hall, a bunch of, I think, 12 or 15 young students were dancing on this beautiful stage created for them. And they really created a lot of magic. Now, it was upon me, before alighting on the stage as a dancer, whether to step with my shoes on stage or whether to go barefoot. It was not to prove that I'm a dancer or anything. I had to convey my respect, my humane connection with dance, my connection with those children in some or the other way. If it reaches out, if I don't know if the children are here, if they happen to see that in the due course of time, they will reflect it to the world. So these small little human gestures matter a lot. And we keep on, as I said, as an educator, as a tutor, as a teacher, we keep an eye that we ourselves are following what we expect how our students should be doing. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we've seen and we've been able to hear that you've participated a lot at national, international, in terms of your presentations. So do you find it challenging in terms of creating the human connect for a cross-cultural context?
that is a wonderful question. I've traveled nationally, internationally, both with subjects and topics which are very sensitive. My very recent production, which has been traveling much, is Shikhandi. Thankfully, I have an audience who has already seen it, and I hope that others will also be there in my audience. Although the subject, I'll just give a very short brief about it, although it talks about transgenders, but through that particular word, I took the journey of the man, I took the journey of the woman, I took the journey of the man and the woman, and woman and the man. And believe me, all the countries I have traveled, dance is a universal language. It is not based upon lyrics, it is not based upon emotions. Your experience, what you see around, how you reflect it on stage, the art of convincing is the real dance. That could happen while moving on stage or just by standing on stage as well.
Sure enough. Thank you so much. So we'd like to understand, because we're coming close to the end of this discussion. So if you'd like to summarize that, how would we like to balance the digital dominance for this very theme to our audience in about 30 seconds here?
The only word that I have right now is Sahodayata. Although I don't have a correct word translation, such is the beauty of our languages in India, Sahridaya. Having the same heart, as much as you may be evolved, and having the same human connect with everyone is something that we need to constantly inculcate to win over any artificial intelligence. In the world where emotions are replaced with emoticons, we need to find the real smile. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir, over to you.
I can only say one thing. If he can communicate to the audience with his form, that is dance, where not a single word is spoken, it is only abhinaya. And if the people can understand what he wants to convey or communicate, therefore language should never be a barrier for communication.
Thank you so much, audience. So we are definitely transcending these digital barriers, and the focus is on human connect, and that's exactly what we're also emphasizing today. With this, we come to an end of this discussion, and over to you, Rupa, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Big round of applause to the profound conversation that took place. They say effective communication is a bridge between confusion and clarity. And I think after they've spoken, we have clarity as to what should be done. But I'm going to, before we wind up, one quick sentence, and you have to tell me what it means. Okay? I am going home. I am going home. I am going home. I am going home. I've said one sentence. What's happening over here? So what does the emphasis do? It changes the meaning of the sentence. So it is not what you say, it is how you say that matters. So ladies and gentlemen, we end today with a thought that communication is not about conversing, it is about connecting if we want to keep the emotional intelligence. Thank you so much, Dr. Gopika, for being such a wonderful moderator, to Major General for giving us that profound insight, and you, of course, the interdisciplinary learning is huge for us. Thank you so much.
As we conclude this session, on behalf of all of us, I want to express my sincere gratitude to our panelists. Your commitment to sharing knowledge has made this session a true highlight, and we are thankful for the wealth of insights you've provided. I would now like to request Ms. Ruchi Bhatia, Ms. Shiva Yadav, and Ms. Rupa Chakravarti to kindly present a token of gratitude to Dr. Himanshu Srivastava. And Ms. Monica Sharma, please.
Ms. Monica Sharma from Ms. Monica from Shalom Presidency.
I would now like to invite Ms. Shobna Venkatesh, Mr. Harsh Kumar, and Ms. Anita Makkar to kindly present a token of gratitude to Major General Putarjunam, please.
That was indeed a wonderful panel discussion which we just heard.
I invite on stage Ms. Kamlesh Taneja, Ms. Monica Sagar, Ms. Rupa Chakravarti to kindly present a token of gratitude to Dr. Gopika Kumar.
Thank you all for your contributions to this panel.
And thank you for doing the honors. We request you all to kindly join the audience.
We would also invite Mr. Krishna Kumar Gaur, National Coordinator for Prime Minister's Vision Program, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, on the stage, sir. I would request Alka ma'am to please felicitate, sir. Welcome, sir. So we all could see that how technology is playing its part and what we need to do there. So a lot of deliberation we heard there, and hopefully it's going to give us solutions to the problems we are facing. This conference is a coming together for unraveling the next sequel of communication with its much-awaited Festival of Words. This is soon going to be proudly hosted by the GPSC in the efforts to make Gurugram a hub of literary learning and activities. With this, I may invite Madam Sandeepa Rai, Secretary GPSC, to kindly introduce the eminent personalities to the audience for this curtain raiser session. Ma'am.
Good evening once again. Since this is the precursor to the Festival of Words, our next curtain raiser, Unraveling the Festival of Words, is going to be spoken and unraveled today, this evening, by two very eminent people who are here amidst us, Mr. Manoj Mittal, an education entrepreneur who is going to be instrumental in associating with GPSC for the Festival of Words, which is upcoming in April. I request Mr. Mittal to kindly come onto the stage. And we're also joined by Justice Dr. Rachna Gupta, who is now a leading judge at the Custom Tax and Appellate Tribunal. Joining them in conversation is Madam Anita Makkar and Madam Nirmal, who are here as one as a founder member and erstwhile members, chairpersons, who are joining them in conversation. And I do believe that what they're going to do is truly create the pulse for the upcoming April Fest, where all schools will be all together in one platform and make Gurugram a great cultural hub. Thank you so much, and over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. So, can I have all the attention towards me? People at the back, are you with me? Are you with me? Okay. So let me introduce myself. My name is Manoj Mittal and I am an entrepreneur. And I am proud to say that I am an alumni of DAV schools. And that's how I came in contact with Charumani ma'am, who's the current chairperson of Gurgaon Progressive School Council. So usually, मैं जब भी किसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाता हूँ, सेमिनार में जाता हूँ, तो मैं पहले ये सोचता हूँ कि सुबह से शाम तक इतनी बातें कर ली, अब करना क्या है, पर्पस क्या है, इतनी अच्छी अच्छी बातें हुई, इतने लोगों ने इतनी इंटेलेक्चुअल बातें की, is there a role for me? How many of you are feeling like that right now? Is there a role for any of you now? So आप सब लोगों ने, I feel myself lucky that today it was like a dream come true that Festival of Words was inaugurated by none other than Sister Shivani. And she said something which we all can take back. But then we all have a responsibility that can we do something in that area. So let me first of all introduce a little bit about myself. In the business side, I introduce myself as an education community manager. आप में से किसी ने कभी सुना है कि there is something called education community management or education community manager? So ordinarily जब भी कोई स्कूल खुलता है तो ये सोचा जाता है कि वहां पे टीचर्स होंगे और टीचर्स बच्चों को पढ़ाएंगे. So there is a transfer of knowledge happening. But I realize somewhere when this transfer of knowledge is happening, there is a community getting built. There are relationships between students, which are friendly relations. There are relationships getting developed between parents, parents and students, parents and teachers, teachers and teachers, and then these students become alumni, former students. So a community is getting developed. So आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक बारी बारी बोला जा रहा है communication. But communication between whom? Community. So I presume that Gurgaon Progressive School Council is a very, very powerful community of 52 schools. Right? So I just want you to get present to something which I am going to present to you. I am not from Gurgaon. But when I did some research on Gurgaon, I was like impressed and shocked. I never knew. Ma'am, I never knew that there are 495 schools in Gurgaon. So imagine the number of teachers which are there in Gurgaon. Imagine the number of parents which are there in Gurgaon. Imagine the number of alumni who are in Gurgaon. And then students. So you all are part of a community which might not be organized, but it is there. So Festival of Words, the first objective is to create and unite this community. So how many of you are willing to be part of this campaign, this endeavor, this movement? So some of you have raised hands, some of you are deciding whether we should raise hand or not. Okay. So if you've not heard, I'm just asking again, how many of you are willing to unite this community of so many students, former students, teachers, principals in Gurgaon. Now let me ask some of you, when we say festival of words, what is the first perception you get? So anyone in the audience, if you can say something, apart from people who already know. So sir, आपको तो पता है, आपसे नहीं पूछूंगा. So how many principals here? Can you raise your hands? How many principals? 1, 2, 3. So ma'am, can we give the mic to somebody there? Vaibhav? Ma'am, on that round table. Ma'am, आपने शायद अटेंड किया था last time. You didn't attend,
No,
right?
I was not.
अच्छा, तो फेस्टिवल ऑफ वर्ड्स जब आपने सुना, तो आपको क्या लगता है फेस्टिवल ऑफ वर्ड्स में क्या होगा?
Interaction with each other, like children might be there, book reading might be there. What I feel is that everyone will enjoy with language. It could be English, Hindi or any language, but everyone will enjoy together with the words.
Okay, तो किस तरह के स्पीकर्स आएंगे वहां पे? कौन लोग आएंगे वहां पे?
I think authors,
Okay.
then readers, no doubt. I'm an ardent reader, so I feel that readers, then children, teachers, parents, everyone.
हाँ, तो ये बहुत ही नॉर्मल व्यू है. Let me, bring to you that Festival of Words has only 5% to do with authors. It's not a literature festival. It's a great opportunity which we all can create. तो मैं ना अभी आपको उसका एक glimpse देता हूँ. So sitting in the center is somebody who's very dear to me, respected for me, because she's an alumna of DAV from the same school from where I studied, but today she's one of the senior judges in the country. Justice Rachna Gupta. Can we give a big round of applause? Now, आप सब लोगों को क्या लगता है कि वर्ड्स का जो सिग्निफिकेंस है वो सिर्फ एक ऑथर की लाइफ में होता है? कभी आपने सोचा है कि ये जज जो होते हैं जब वो अपनी जजमेंट लिखते हैं तो उनकी जजमेंट लिखते वक्त उनके लिए वर्ड्स का कितना इंपॉर्टेंस होता है? तो मैम, द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू, while writing a judgment, after listening to all the arguments for and against whatever is presented to you, when you finally get down to writing a judgment, what is the importance of words in your day-to-day activity?
See, as first of all, a very warm evening to all powerful August gathering of educators here. I am feeling very, very privileged and honored to address such a gathering of luminaries. So coming to the question raised by Manoj, being a judge, we are using word as a tool, but we are not one-to-one communicating. But simultaneously, the kind of work which we undertake by writing a judgment, it's a communication to the society at large. I mean, at times, see, there are two kinds of decisions. One is judgment in rem, which is a decision which might affect a particular section of society. A judgment in personam, which will affect a particular person who is before the court. So this first criteria is very, very important for us to select right kind of words. So one simple example I was discussing with Manoj also, just to give a fair idea as to how important is selection of words for ourselves. There was a property dispute case between two villages. Two panchayats were the litigants. And everybody was claiming some portion of land. And they were alleging each other that probably this panchayat has encroached my area and that panchayat has encroached our area. So decision has to be based on the documents. after perusing the entire, revenue record, what I observed, the land under dispute was almost around 32 acres of area. Almost around 17 acres of land was recorded in both the villages. And remaining land was recorded in none of the villages. Both the parties throughout their arguments were saying, lands are overlapping, lands are overlapping. But these two different situations, I as a judge, it's my mandate duty to create a distinction. So here comes the power of words in role. So we are duty bound to choose the correct words. See, the land which is in both the villages, instead of writing overlapping, I should use, say, superposed or say crisscrossed. And for the land which was in none of the villages, but both of them were claiming. So to my understanding, conjoint or overlay would be the right word. So using these words in my decision, I was of the opinion that it will give a correct picture of what I found from the documents, and this will help me to come to the right conclusion. Like, authors and everybody who are into the field of literature, of course, the words woven, the way Shakespeare has woven those words, I mean, that is an art of literature. As judges, we are not supposed to, find the intellectual words or words with the element of poetry or, story. We are supposed to look for the words which may give a simple message. Once in a training of, how to write a judgment was a topic. So the speaker was an honorable judge from Supreme Court. He raised a question, for whom a judge is writing a decision. So the answer was, it is for the litigant who has come before the court to seek relief. So this one reason mandates a judge to choose such words which should be simple. So that's another part of our duty to keep into the mind who is the litigant before us. If it is a poor farmer, so then, selection of words should be such that it should be understandable by him. It's not like student is asked to write an essay. He has to pick up, words, powerful words, the chords, the literature kind of words. But for judges, a good judgment should have those kind of words which can be understood by a common this thing. And our scope of work at senior level of decision making is not simply to adjudicate the disputes, but to lay the law, to give an interpretation, I should say, about what is there in a statute. So everything is codified, for everything there is a law, still there are disputes. Why? Because what is the concept of word? It's a tool for communication, no doubt. Purpose of word is to convey the meaning. And how best a person convey what he means is to adopt a right kind of word. So that's the power of word. And at this stage of decision making, we at times, you will be surprised to know, at times we have to take a call when a word and is used in any statute. Say, recently I came across a case of export of some mobile speakers. So those speakers were based on certain technology. Two kinds of technologies are involved. So there is a law which gives exemption from payment of duty to the product which has 1 and 2. Say one technology is X, another technology is Y. So a product which has X and Y, both the technologies, the person importing that product should not pay duty. One person has imported a product having X technology and claimed duty exemption. Department says this should be, the product should have both the technologies. And you will be surprised to know there are decisions on both sides and is held to be used as conjunctive in many cases. The same word is held to be used as disjunctive in many other cases. So and is X and Y both, and is X or Y both, and is neither of these two or both of these two. So here comes the concept of context. In what context a particular word is used? As judges, then to derive the meaning of this word, we have to bank upon, what was the intent of this law, with what purpose this law was made, what were the marginal notes written by the policymakers, what the highest court of this country, the Honorable Supreme Court, has held in this respect. Because whatever is said and done by Supreme Court becomes the law of land. One law is law by the Parliament, another law by Supreme Court. So right from the lowest level of judiciary till the highest level of judiciary, it's the jumble of words that all judges have to play with very cautiously and effectively, because ultimately most of the judgments have to impact the society as a whole. So I hope this festival is really something for a person like us to come up with the idea that word is a powerful tool of communication. Thank you so much.
So on that note, English teachers here, raise your hands. So ma'am, आपने कभी सोचा था कि जो आप इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज पढ़ा रहे हो, वो वोकैबुलरी एक जज को कैसे यूज आती होगी और कंफ्यूज करती होगी? Now imagine, so while ma'am was speaking, I was thinking whom to invite. Like for my first choice in Festival of Words to invite from the world of law will be the lawyer who contested the case for none other than Shri Ram. Do you all know that there is a lawyer who contested the case for Lord Ram? So we will be attempting to invite him. Will it be interesting to listen to him? Versus only a literature person who wrote a novel. So just imagine Festival of Words like that. Imagine the justice who has given that judgment coming and speaking to you in the Festival of Words. And ma'am, we would like your help to get us those kind of judges and those kind of lawyers so that we can, get a variety of people to participate in the Festival of Words. So ma'am, Anita ma'am, next question to you. Being a principal and being a teacher for so many years, you have come across the language, which gives us vocabulary. But suddenly, for last 2 months, when you've been part of this whole thinking and planning of Festival of Words, any new ideas or insights you are getting, like we spoke about the speech writers. So can you elaborate your view on that?
So it was so good to hear Justice Rachna ji, how words can impact our lives and how words impact our children. I think all us present here as educators, we all know the kind of impact our words have on children, on parents. And I think most of us always have a meeting before a PTM so that to understand what parents' aspirations are, what they expect us to do, and also we deliberate on how to address certain issues. So language has a huge role. And when Manoj came up with Festival of Words, this idea and the present GPSC team, core executive team, they talked about Festival of Words. So if you ask me, I'm really excited to see because our lives are not only confined to classrooms. Today, our children are in the classrooms. Tomorrow, they are going out in the world, in different societies. They are going to get into different professions. So, how the words are going to impact their lives? Today, we do not use such words because now we are conscious of what to say, what not to say. But as in the previous session, Major General said, a kick on the butt. But today, there can't be a kick on the butt. So we are so careful how we use our words. So of course we would like to have people right from judges to Bollywood to all our street performers, everyone here. Because languages can't be a barrier in communicating. And when people from various walks of life, they come here, not only with their words, their gestures, their body language speaks a lot. So, and that's the reason that if you look at all the reports that come up, ACER report or Pratham report, every report focuses on numeracy and literacy. So literacy is so important, and to know the nuances of communication is really important. And that, of course, I think most of us would really like to know what's going to happen, and we all are going to be a part of it, of Festival of Words.
Let me give you another glimpse. How many of you watch, how many of you like Kapil Sharma? His jokes? But would you like to meet the people who write those jokes for him? Do you know there is a whole team of writers which actually make the Kapil Sharma show? So those are the people who we are going to invite in Festival of Words. And just to give you another perspective, we all are inspired by the speeches our Honorable Prime Minister is making. But do you know there is a battery of writers who write those speeches, work on them. Every word is carefully selected before it goes to the mic. So we are going to get in touch with those kind of people. And just, ma'am, imagine, there are so many, there is one Prime Minister, there are so many cabinet ministers, there are so many chief ministers, there are so many state ministers, there are so many MLAs. Everybody wants a speech to be made. Now just imagine the kind of job opportunities which is available to your students. If your English or Hindi teachers, right from the school days, are present to the fact that some of them can become speech writers, and they are so important and powerful. You know, those are the kind of things which we want to create through this Festival of Words. So, Yadav ma'am, now because you are the youngest among us, so I want you to
has the benefit of
I want you to make
fast.
an appeal on my behalf that this festival success depends completely on the unity among and ownership among 52 schools of GPSC. If they all care, commit, and then collaborate to make Festival of Words successful, then only it will become what it can become. So, my request, please make an appeal. If there are principals, please care, commit and collaborate. If there are teachers who are in the hall and their principal is not here, please go and tell them that this is your festival. We have good 2 months to make it big. So, Yadav ma'am.
Well, Festival of Words is a wonderful thought. Thoughts become ideas, ideas become words, and words become language. It's as simple as that. And we have given you, Manojji, a long rope. Bring whosoever has excelled in their fields to come, speak to us, address our children, address our parents, and I'm sure all these people who are here, they're going to communicate that word to the rest of their community, neighbors, friends, relatives, and we are going to have a superb show of this. Because words, I'll just tell you, when he's saying communication, am I permitted to stand?
Yeah, please.
Communication, like, you see, when you're writing, as ma'am says, a judgment, a synopsis, a dialogue, script writing, verse of poetry, all these have different connotations, different meanings, different nuances, and the different ways of expressing.
I'll give you a simple example of my class 6, 4 lines that I read. राजवंशों ने भुगती तानी थी, सिंहासन हिल उठे, राजवंशों ने भुगती तानी थी, दूर फिरंगी को करने की मन में ठानी थी, बूढ़े भारत में आई फिर से नई जवानी थी, चमक उठी सन 57 में वह तलवार पुरानी थी, खूब लड़ी मर्दानी. You all know it. So this is like uplifting. And then there's another favorite poem of mine by William Blake. I'm sure Rupa ma'am has disappeared. Soumya ma'am will agree with it. Like, tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? What the hammer, what the anvil? Completed later. I won't have. So it is these words. They can, as Shivani ma'am said, that your words put you down, your words uplift you, and to be listening to these people, erudite, intellectuals. It is this that will make our day. And I'm sure we wish you all the best. And
so ma'am,
we are
together we all will make it. We have 2 months.
I've done my 30 seconds.
Yeah. So thank you to all of you. And I'm very keen to work with each and every school, each and every teacher, each and every parent, alumni and students. Let's get together and make Festival of Words a force to reckon with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was indeed a wonderful session. Ma'am, we would request you to please be there. Yeah, for just a few more minutes. I would request Madam Anita Makkar and Madam Nimal Yadav to kindly felicitate Mr. Manoj Mittal for this great initiative. We all really loved the idea, sir. It was really great, sir. I would also request Ms. Anshu Sharma and Madam Nancy Sharma to please come upon the stage to felicitate Justice Rachna Gupta, ma'am. So, we heard a wonderful conversation on the Festival of Words, which is to come in just near future. So let's clap for this initiative, everyone. So wonderful picture moment again. Today, we have united in the spirit of collaboration, dedicated commitment, and genuine care for the well-being of our students and educators. True to our theme, communication, the human connect. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for doing the honors. Together, we can create an educational landscape that thrives on the principles of empathy, understanding, and shared responsibility. With this, let us ignite in the follow-up session and call upon stage Madam Alka Singh and Madam Sandeepa Rai.
Good evening once again. We all know that we're more powerful when we empower each other, and teamwork has incredible, immense power. We're so happy to announce that what lies in this conference is what you saw. But there has been great exercise of teamwork and collaboration and commitment by the GPSC principals who have been deliberating over the days gone by. And what were they deliberating on that has ignited the spark of this session? I request Alka ma'am to throw light on the process where everyone was connected in this beautiful human connect. Alka ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sandeepa ma'am. Just want to, all the principals are aware, I wanted to apprise all the teachers out there. This Ignite session, it's the principals who ignited it. How we started was the teachers, principals and students together. Virtually they met. There were 5 topics which were given to them. You would be seeing all these 5 topics, different groups. After that, the synopsis which came to us, we again combined the principals together. Not just the principals. And this fun synopsis, what you would be seeing today, is basically a deliberation of all the principals. So as we say, we are rising together. So we are igniting a spark out here. Look at the topics. I would say, teachers, please give a big round of applause to yourself, students, and the principals out here. We really want to thank each one of you for making this super successful. We wanted to thank Rupa ma'am. She was the one who started off with this initiative.
She's there.
Rupa ma'am? Yes. So we're just carrying on the legacy of Rupa ma'am right now. Thank you so much, Rupa ma'am. Over to Sandeepa ma'am.
I would like to draw your attention to the Ignite sessions that followed. The topics there were 5 topics: the evolution of language in the digital era, emojis, memes, and beyond, because we are all a part of this huge bubble of digitalization. The evolution of language in the digital era. Can I have the next slide, please? This is what went behind the screens. You can see all the deliberations with the head girls, students, educators, principals, all brainstorming, and you can see very clearly marked table 1, 6, and 11, how this group of 5 and 6 people, altogether 5 plus 3, 25, with Aparna Eri ma'am, who was supposed to present this, but I think where words fail, screen does all the job. And keeping the paucity of time in mind, we're ensuring that we're just going to quickly show you this 5 slides of all the beautiful work that has gone behind the session Ignite.
Aparna ma'am, a big thank you. Ma'am was in Mumbai. From there she was coordinating. Landed just last night. Thank you to all the team members by Aparna ma'am. This is the essence of the deliberations.
And we are definitely going to send you all the findings and deliberations through your principals so that you're able to go through all that happened behind screen. We have the next theme here up on screen, and it's remote work and virtual collaboration. We'll have the quick peek at all the principals and all the educators and the stakeholders that have made the deliberation possible. We thank you, each principal and educator, for making this deliberation a meaningful one. There's a glimpse. And a big round of applause is what they truly deserve. Thank you. We move on to the third. We'll share the synopsis so we can quickly move on to the third topic. It's digital literacy, navigating misinformation and building trust. And that's the thin line between communicating well and not creating mistrust. So we had Madam Nidhi Tiwari, who was shot off this presentation because we have decided it's going to be powerful this ways, where every person who was a part of this framework is visible to you. Big round of applause to all the educators and principals and students in absentia who are here. Balancing technology and human connection. This was yet another topic for deliberation, and right on screen you can see the big wigs there, and I'm sure the deliberations that are going to come forth to you are also going to be very, very creative and eye-opening. The future of human communication, that was last topic, and here you can see Aarti ma'am, Veena Dhawan, Ajaya Chauhan ma'am, and all the big wigs, Sipinder ma'am, Monica ma'am, Pooja, and Shobha Venkatesh ma'am, with their educators. Let's have a quick look at what they brought to us on the table. And this is all the findings. A lot of hard work, and a big round of applause to their team. Over to Alka ma'am. Is there anything left? Yes, we're just left with one.
आज आप सभी हमारे जीपीएससी एनुअल कन्वेंशन में पधारे, इस शाश्वत उत्सव के साक्षी बने। अपनी उपस्थिति इस अमूल्य निधि को हमें सौंपने के लिए आप सभी का कोटिश धन्यवाद, अशेष आभार। आप जानते हैं कि हम सभी उस परम ब्रह्म के अंश हैं जिनकी ऊर्जा हमारे समग्र व्यक्तित्व को आलोकित करती है। आइए हम सब मिलकर आभार प्रकट करें उस शक्ति का जो आज आप सभी के रूप में हमारे बीच में विद्यमान है, प्रकाशमान है।
आभार परम ब्रह्म का, आभार सूर्य चंद्र का, आभार माँ वसुंधरा, आभार खगो वृंद का, आभार आसमान का मधुरिम मधुर बयार का, आभार तरु बिम के अनवरत से प्यार का, आभार मान्य श्रद्धेय का, स्नेह सने स्नेह का, आभार वीणा वादिनी, आभार गुलशनों का, आभार खुशबुओं का है, आभार है सभी का, आभार है आप सभी का। एक बार पुनः करबद्ध होकर हृदय से आप सभी की उपस्थिति को प्रणाम करते हुए आप सभी का आभार, धन्यवाद। Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by the heart. A grateful heart becomes responsive and responsible for the newfound friends, associates, and knowledge imparted through the coming together of visionaries and seers. I feel honored and privileged to take the opportunity as Vice Chairperson of GPSC to propose the vote of thanks on this special occasion. Humbled and grateful to and thankful to Sister Shivani. आप सभी ने जाना, समझा कि विचार भी कर्म है, शब्द भी कर्म है, और कर्म तो कर्म ही है. So let's work on that. We are seriously thankful to Sister Shivani. We are also thankful to Shri Himanshu Gupta ji, Secretary CBSE, who spared so much of time for us. It means a lot to us. Also, we would like to thank the DC, Mr. Nishant Kumar Yadav. I think their presence meant a lot and made this annual convention a fulfilling experience for all of us. We are very, very thankful to Captain Indu Bokus. The panel discussions were most amazing, very, very fulfilling. We also would like to thank Aditi Mishra ma'am and Rupa ma'am for coordinating. Thank you so much. सपना एक देखो, मुश्किल हजार आएंगी, लेकिन वो मंजर बड़ा खूबसूरत होगा जब कामयाबी शोर मचाएगी. ये शब्द हमारे फाउंडर मेंबर्स के लिए हैं. Let's give a big round of applause to our founder members. One such dream was seen by our founder members who laid the foundation of GPSC. We, as their legacy bearers, are fortunate to have inherited this brilliant platform. आभार सभी founder members का, तहे दिल से आभार. I extend my warm gratitude to Charu Mani ma'am, Chairperson GPSC, for ideating and executing today's conference. I seriously would like to thank Sandeepa ma'am, Rashmi ma'am. I think 24/7, we all were together making sure that this conference is a successful conference. I would like to thank Mr. Rajiv Rajdan from UPS Learning. Thank you so much, Rajiv sir. I would also like to thank Mr. Ankit from Go Sharpeners. Thank you so much, Mr. Ankit. Would request you all to please come on the stage. I would also request Mr. Manoj to be on the stage. We would request Rashmi ma'am and Sandeepa ma'am and Charu ma'am to please do the honors. So while we are felicitating our co-partners, so I would like to thank all these. Mr. Ankit. Great work done by Mr. Ankit around sustainability. You would be having a booklet in your bag. Thank you, Mr. Ankit, for the same and promoting sustainability. We'd also like to thank Mr. Rajiv Razdan, UPS Learning. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajiv. We'd like to thank Mr. Manoj.
Experiential learning, and we must go and see the work that they are doing.
So thank you so much. All the delegates today, we really want to thank you because a conference is Rajiv sir and Dipin sir. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, ma'am, for those heartfelt words. A lot of people have taken out their precious time today, and we would like to value their presence here. We have Mr. Chirag with us.
It's okay. 30 seconds. Okay कर दिया. चारू मैम.
Mr. Chirag has something to tell you. Yeah, Mr. Chirag.
I thank you. Good evening, everyone. And yes, we are from Give Back to Gurugram. And as the name suggests, we primarily work in Gurugram in spreading awareness on key issues, key topics at Gurugram. In fact, we are working towards making Gurugram a better place, a better city to live. And I see many schools and respected teachers who are here, we have been interacting and working with. I thank you for that. Today we are presenting to you the Gurugram anthem, the Gurugram song. And we would, as we felt proud in making it, the Bluebells Public Model School has, and the team has put it together, so we want it to be played. So over to you, sir. Thank you.